And as far as I'm concerned, I have committed no crime. That's the reason why I'm so surprised about the so-called crackdown. I think that this government is living in a denial. They need to wake up and accept the reality that exists in this country and agree that there's need to have a constructive way of resolving it.
Looking at the charges that TJ Kajwang and Miguna have faced, perhaps the government has a window for treason charges. You have been in detention before. Do you fear that they could come for you over treason?
Rita, I've stated several times that we don't want to be blackmailed with charges of treason and so on. I've stated that what we are facing here is much more serious, because it is a question of us moving together forward as a country. Do we want the country to move forward as Kenya, one united country? Or do we want a dismembered country? Unless they accept that we are in a crisis situation and that requires dialogue to resolve it, this kind of situation has got the potentials of very, very serious ramifications.
The arrest of Kajwang and Miguna, the court issued 5 orders. All of them, the police, the IG, the Director of Criminal Investigations have defied those orders. What do you make of it?
You see, they say that the more things change, the more they remain the same. We are seeing a development very akin to what happened after independence of this country. We had a constitution coming from Lancaster House. That constitution was, after 1 year, mutilated and thrown to the dogs. You remember that you can go to Parliament, you'll find a motion filed by the then leader of the official opposition, the late Ronald Ngala, and the late Masinde Muliro, motion of censorship against the then Prime Minister of Kenya, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, for refusing to send funds to the devolved units, that was regional governments, as per the constitution and the laws of the country. That is already happening again here today. Then there was also disrespect of court orders. Then eventually the courts were taken over. The same thing is happening here. And I'm happy that the Chief Justice has finally spoken about disobedience of court orders. You see, it is not just with respect to Miguna and Kajwang and so on, even with regards to the passports and security. It is also with regard to the media houses. To me, that was the worst part initially. Because why do you close media houses? Where is the freedom of media and freedom of expression gone to? You want to deny the country the opportunity to know what is happening, freedom of information. So you're quickly getting into a state which has become rogue, a rogue state. That actually invites lawlessness. Because if the government does not act lawfully, the government disrespects the law, the citizens are under no obligation to respect the law. And that itself is a route to anarchy in our country.
The NRM has been declared a proscribed group. What will happen now?
NRM cannot be, because it was never registered. It is an idea. So Mr. Matiang'i is chasing a mirage. He really needs to think twice. MRM is an idea to bring about change in this country. And the people have come together. It is not like an registered organization. So you cannot prescribe what you have not registered. Because you ask Mr. Matiang'i, what is the registration number of NRM? He doesn't have it. So NRM will continue to exist. NRM is called for mass action measures which are allowed by the Constitution. So NRM's activities are not going to be subversive His activities are going to be above the board. They are going to use constitutional means to achieve the objectives of the movement.
Moving forward, you have been sworn in as the people's president. What next?
Well, as you know that my team has already come out with a road to our destination. And we've said very clearly that we are going to invoke the Article 1 of our Constitution, the people, to achieve what we want to achieve. Because Article 1 was not put there by mistake. It was put there to deal with the situations such as we are having today. That is that when the state has become rogue and has emasculated all the institutions of governance, they have taken hostage Parliament, they've taken hostage the judiciary, they've taken hostage the institutions of election, and also using the state power, that is the police, against the people. And the people have a recourse to Article 1 to take the sovereignty in their hands and determine how things will move forward. This is what we are doing.
You have spoken about change, and in an interview with the BBC, you were quoted as saying that the country needs a fresh election. Will NASA push for that, and if so, in what manner?
Well, we have talked about electoral justice, okay? Electoral justice, because we do believe that what happened in August 8th was basically violated by the Electoral Commission. And what happened in October 26th cannot be, by any stretch of imagination, considered to have been an election. Because as you know, over 80% of registered voters did not turn up on that day to vote. So whoever purports to have been elected on that day lacks the legitimacy that is required for one to be able to govern the country effectively. So there is lack of legitimacy, which this presidency has. And in many parts of this country, they will not go and they will not be recognized as the president of the people. But the people who did not vote for him will not recognize him. And that is a crisis, which it cannot be resolved by using police, by closing media houses, by arresting Miguna and deporting him, by arresting Kajwang, by cancelling the passports of citizens of this country, by violating the court orders. Those are not going to be resolved. These issues must be confronted and dealt with more effectively in a more systematic and consultative manner.
Previously, we have seen foreign envoys. Always, largely, they have been on your side. But on this one, you seem not to have support from them. Why do you think they are distancing themselves?
You see, most of the foreign envoys are acting in the interest of their country. And most of their countries act in the interest of their strategic self-interests. Most of them have commercial interests in the country. In my view, I think their position is more dictated by the commercial considerations, the kind of contracts some of them hope to get from the Jubilee government. And that's why they want to be on the right side. That, in my view, is a very simplistic way. Because most of these countries profess to support democracy. They are now telling us that, oh, because Uhuru was elected on the 26th, that the election was affirmed by the Kenyan courts, therefore it's validly elected. They are forgetting that 8 days to the elections, Mr. Chebukati, the chairman of the Electoral Commission, was on record saying that he was not ready or prepared to carry out a free and fair elections on the 26th. And 2 days to that election, I mean, after Madam Akombe had resigned from the commission, citing irregularities, citing so many weaknesses in the commission, the ambassadors were addressing the media saying that they were satisfied with the preparations done by the IBC. Why were they doing it? Because some of them, their countries had funded the IBC. So they were defending their country's taxpayer money which had been given to the IBC to prepare for the elections. But they also forget that one day before the elections, the Supreme Court was unable to raise a quorum to hear a case which was petitioning for postponement of those elections. Fourthly, they are also forgetting that less than 20% of Kenyans turned up to vote on the 26th of October. So therefore, that election does not confer legitimacy. And they're refusing to confront those facts and are saying, oh, because the Supreme Court affirmed it, it is fine. The Supreme Court that nullified the elections on the 1st of September of the 8th of August elections was not the same Supreme Court that affirmed the elections of 26th of October. This one is a court which has been subdued, which had intimidated. They've been called wakoras, crooks. They had stolen our victory, and we are going to deal with them. So this was a very different Supreme Court. And therefore, we are saying that they have gotten it wrong. They have gotten it very, very wrong. But we are saying, ultimately, it is a Kenyan problem. It will be solved by the people of Kenya. We invite our friends to help us, but please let them not interfere with what is purely a Kenyan process.